All right, so you're thinking about building a replica. You really want to make it top tier, something that goes beyond the basics.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
captures that essence of the source. Well, stick with us. This is the right place for you. We're diving deep with the Sensei team today. We're uncovering their secrets for crafting replicas that are truly remarkable, insider tips, proven strategies, and we'll even touch on what's coming next in the future of replica creation. Get ready.
It is fascinating. There are just so many creative approaches you can take to give your replica depth and personality. And when we say depth,
Yeah.
it's not just surface level info. We're talking about
Right.
a replica that feels really authentic, knowledgeable, one that can hold a conversation, engaging and insightful.
Okay, let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
The Sensei team really hit hard on the importance of using diverse data sources.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding some basic bio info and calling it a day, is it?
Not at all. To truly capture the nuances of somebody's personality, you have to go deeper. Think about it. You wouldn't understand someone just by reading their resume. You'd want to see how they interact, hear their stories, get a sense of their humor, passions. It's the same with replicas.
So what kind of data sources are we talking about here?
Well, YouTube transcripts are a goldmine. Gives you a sense of how someone expresses themselves, their tone, the way they explain things. Twitter feeds are great. You get those quick-witted remarks, opinions. And then, of course, you've got blog posts, interviews, even voice memos. Anything that captures the source's unique voice. Perspective.
Voice memos. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
You can capture those off-the-cuff thoughts, conversations. They even mentioned using a service called Otter.ai, transcribing those recordings, turning spoken words into valuable training data.
Exactly. And that brings us to the often overlooked but critical step, structuring your data. Think of it this way. If you're trying to learn a new language, would you rather have a pile of vocab words or a well-organized textbook with clear explanations and examples? Replicas are kind of similar. They learn best from structured data.
So what's the secret sauce here? How do we take all this raw data, turn it into something a replica can actually learn from?
One insider tip we learn from the Sensei team: AI tools, like ChatGPT, to structure interview transcripts, for example. Take a long, rambling interview. ChatGPT can transform it into a clear and concise Q&A format, and suddenly you've got a structured data set, perfect for training.
That's genius, like giving the replica a cheat sheet to understand the source's thoughts and experiences, no more trying to decipher a wall of text.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of technical tips, the team mentioned using specific email addresses like dan+name@sensei.io for managing replica ownership. Might seem like a small detail. It can be a lifesaver when you're working with multiple replicas or collaborating.
Okay, so we've talked about gathering diverse data, structuring it effectively. But how do we take it a step further? How do we make sure a replica isn't just giving generic responses? It actually feels like an extension of the source's personality.
Custom questions. That's where things get really interesting. This is one of those features. Might seem simple on the surface, but incredibly powerful when it comes to shaping your replica's knowledge base. And personality?
All right, let's dive into that. How exactly do custom questions work their magic?
Think of custom questions like sculpting tools. You're not just feeding information to the replica, you're actively shaping its understanding and its ability to interact in a way that's true to the source. Let's say you're creating a replica of a well-known chef. Instead of relying on just general culinary knowledge, you could craft specific questions about their signature dishes, their cooking philosophy, favorite ingredients. Suddenly, your replica can engage in conversations about food that reflect the chef's unique expertise and personality.
So it's about creating a replica that can go beyond just stating facts, engage in conversations that are both knowledgeable and personal. That's impressive.
It is. It's about understanding what makes your source unique. What are their quirks, their passions, little idiosyncrasies. Those are the things that will bring your replica to life.
I love that, giving your replica a soul, But we can't forget the power of human connection. They also talked about the importance of personal interviews in capturing the essence of a replica.
Absolutely, and they shared an interesting observation. Some people feel more comfortable with audio recordings than live interviews. Takes away the pressure of a face-to-face interaction, allows them to speak more freely.
Yeah, it makes sense. Some people just shine when they have a moment to gather their thoughts, express themselves in their own time, whether it's audio or video. What's the best strategy for conducting these interviews?
Well, they revealed a clever strategy. Tailoring your questions based on the initial responses you get. Creating a dynamic conversation uncovers the essence of the person you're replicating.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Walk me through how that works.
Imagine you start with 3 basic questions. One about their childhood, one about their biggest passion, and one about their proudest achievement. Now, based on how they answer, you can start to delve deeper. If they light up when talking about their childhood love of building robots, you might ask follow-up questions about their favorite inventors, their early experiments, or their vision for the future of robotics.
So the interview becomes this organic back and forth, where you're following the threads of their story, uncovering those hidden gems that make them truly unique.
Exactly. And they even discuss the idea of developing an interviewer AI that could conduct these personalized interviews and gather training data automatically. Now, that's a thought that really gets the gears turning.
Whoa, that's next level stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of the future, the Sensei team hinted at some advanced techniques they're working on. That sounds pretty mind-blowing.
They mentioned the ability to fine-tune your replica's personality by adjusting the system message, though they didn't get into the nitty-gritty details just yet. They also briefly touched on the integration of 11 Labs and Heigen for voice and video training.
Hold on. 11 Labs and Heigen. I know those names. Those are big players in the world of AI, voice, and video generation. Are you saying we're heading toward replicas that not only sound like the source, but also look like them?
It's certainly a possibility. The technology is advancing rapidly, and it's exciting to imagine what the future holds. They also hinted at a natural, open-ended conversational model they're developing.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that one. What does a natural, open-ended conversational model even mean in the world of replicas?
Imagine replicas that can go beyond scripted responses. Engage in free-flowing dynamic conversations, just like you and I are doing right now. It's about moving beyond those predictable patterns, creating replicas that can truly surprise you with their wit, their insights, and their ability to adapt to any conversation.
Wow, that is mind-blowing. Just thinking about the possibilities, I'm already getting inspired. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's recap what we've learned so far. We've covered the importance of diverse data sources, structuring data effectively, using custom questions to shape personality, and conducting insightful interviews that truly capture the essence of the source.
Exactly. And remember, replica creation is a constantly evolving field. There are always new techniques and technologies emerging, so it's important to stay curious and continue learning.
Okay, before we dive into the next part of our deep dive, I want to pause here for a moment. Think about your own replica project. What data sources are you most excited to explore? And what kind of custom questions do you think would really capture the essence of your chosen subject?
We'll be back in a flash to uncover even more secrets of replica creation with the Sensei team. But for now, take a moment to brainstorm and let those creative juices flow. Welcome back. I'm eager to hear what's buzzing in your mind after that first segment. Anything in particular that sparked your interest?
Definitely. I'm already thinking about all the creative ways I can gather data. I never even thought about using YouTube transcripts or even my favorite podcasts. But what really stood out to me was the concept of creating a replica creation SOP, a standardized operating procedure.
Oh, that's a great point. The Sensei team really emphasized that as you gain experience, you'll want to streamline your process. This SOP is your personal playbook for replica creation, ensuring consistent high-quality results each time you embark on a new project.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about taking these powerful insights, turning them into a repeatable system, like having a recipe for success. Speaking of practical tactics, the Sensei team shared some really interesting methods for gathering data. I was especially intrigued by the idea of scraping websites for information.
Website scraping can be incredibly efficient for gathering a large amount of data quickly. Let's say you're building a replica of a prolific author. You could scrape their website to collect blog posts, articles, even excerpts from their books. It's like having a digital research assistant, working tirelessly to compile all that valuable content for you.
And with the auto-refresh feature they mentioned, the replica could stay up to date with any new content added to those sites. That's incredibly efficient.
It is. But they also cautioned against simply dumping raw data into the system. Just like with any learning process, the data needs to be structured in a way that the replica can effectively understand and absorb.
Right back to the idea of structuring with ChatGPT. It's like creating those flashcards for the replica to study.
Exactly. They emphasize the power of using tools like ChatGPT to transform interview transcripts into that easy-to-digest Q&A format. It takes all that valuable information, presents it in a way that makes it much easier for the replica to process and learn from.
And let's not forget the magic of custom questions. They're not just for factual knowledge, are they?
Not at all. Custom questions are your secret weapon for injecting personality, humor, and those little quirks that make a replica truly unique. You can ask things like, what's your go-to karaoke song? Or what's your favorite cheesy joke? Those are the types of questions that bring a replica to life, make it feel more human and relatable.
It's like giving the replica its own unique voice and personality. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of making the source feel comfortable, they mentioned that some people prefer recording audio responses instead of participating in live interviews.
That's a great point. And it highlights the importance of creating a comfortable environment for your source. Some people simply aren't as articulate on the spot, but give them a microphone and some time to think, and they can express themselves much more eloquently.
I totally get that. I know I'm not always at my best when I'm put on the spot, but give me a chance to gather my thoughts, and I can be much more expressive.
And that's what it's all about, creating a space where the source feels comfortable sharing their authentic self. And that brings us back to that personalized interview strategy we discussed earlier.
Oh, yes. Adapting your questions on the fly
Yeah.
based on the initial responses you get. It's like unlocking a treasure chest of insights.
Exactly. Each answer reveals a new path to explore, leading to a deeper understanding of the person you're replicating. It's like a detective uncovering clues to solve a mystery. You start with some basic information, and then you follow the leads, asking the right questions to uncover the hidden depths of the person you're replicating.
I love that analogy. It really captures the spirit of discovery. That's at the heart of replica creation. But as we delve deeper into the world of AI, we can expect even more innovative techniques to emerge.
Absolutely. The Sensei team hinted at some really exciting developments, like the integration of 11 Labs and Hagen for voice and video training. It's like taking a giant leap forward in terms of how we can capture and recreate the nuances of human expression.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. We're talking about replicas that not only sound like the source, but also look like them.
The possibilities are mind-boggling. Imagine a replica of a beloved historical figure. Brought to life with both voice and video, it could completely revolutionize how we learn about history, experience stories, and connect with the past.
That'd be incredible. But they also mentioned this natural, open-ended conversational model. I have to admit, I'm a bit lost on what that means.
It's about moving beyond scripted responses and pre-programmed interactions. Imagine replicas that can engage in conversations that are truly fluid and dynamic. They could express themselves with nuance, adapt to different conversational styles, and even surprise you with their wit and creativity.
So it's not just about mimicking. It's about creating replicas that can actually think for themselves and hold conversations that feel genuinely human. That's a game changer.
It is, and it speaks to the incredible potential of AI to not only replicate human intelligence, but to potentially enhance it in ways we can't even imagine yet. It's a truly exciting time to be exploring this frontier.
This is all so fascinating. But I have to admit, it also raises some questions in my mind.
Absolutely. As with any powerful technology, it's crucial that we approach replica creation with both enthusiasm and a sense of responsibility.
Exactly. I'm thinking about things like ensuring replicas are used ethically and don't infringe on anyone's privacy or intellectual property.
Those are critical considerations. It's up to us as creators to use these tools thoughtfully and ethically, always keeping in mind the potential impact of our creations.
Agreed. But beyond the ethical questions, there are also practical considerations. For example, how do we make these advanced techniques accessible to everyone, not just those with deep technical expertise?
That's a really important point. The democratization of these tools is essential. If we want to see the full potential of replica technology unleashed, we need to create resources and platforms that empower everyone to explore this exciting field.
And how do we strike a balance between creating replicas that are faithful to the source, while still allowing for creativity and experimentation? We don't want to stifle innovation.
Yeah.
But we also want to ensure that replicas are used responsibly and respectfully.
That's the challenge, isn't it? Finding that sweet spot between fidelity and creativity. It's a conversation that needs to continue as this technology evolves. And it's a conversation I'm excited to be a part of.
Me too. It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's
Sure.
possible. What a time to be alive. So for everyone listening who's as captivated by this as we are, we encourage you to stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay creative.
The world of replica creation is wide open. It's up to us to explore it, to push the boundaries, and to imagine what incredible things we can create together. You know, as we wrap up this deep dive into replica creation with the Sensei team, I keep thinking about one key takeaway. It goes beyond the technical aspects. The special something that makes a replica stand out, that intangible quality, that captures the essence of the source.
Okay, I'm all ears. How do we achieve that? What does that look like in practice?
It's about remembering. A replica isn't just a bundle of data points or clever responses. It's a reflection of a unique human being with their own story, experiences, perspectives. It's about capturing the heart and soul of that individual.
So it's about going beyond the what and delving into the why behind their words and actions.
Yeah.
Uncovering their motivations, passions, the values that drive them.
Exactly. Think about the people you admire the most. What is it about them that draws you in? Is it their unwavering passion, their infectious humor, their boundless kindness, their resilience in the face of challenges? These are the qualities that make a replica truly resonate with others. They transform a collection of data into a compelling, relatable persona.
That's a powerful insight. So as we embark on our replica creation journeys, we should be asking ourselves, what stories do we want our replicas to tell? What values do we want them to embody? What kind of impact do we want them to have on others?
Precisely. And remember, replica creation is a continuous journey of learning, experimentation, and refinement. Embrace the process. Be bold in your choices. And don't be afraid to push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's like we're all pioneers in this uncharted territory of AI, forging new paths and discovering new possibilities. It's an exciting time to be involved in this field.
It is, and I have a feeling that the most extraordinary replicas won't be those that merely mimic reality. The truly remarkable ones will be those that inspire us, challenge our thinking, and perhaps even teach us something new about ourselves and the world around us.
What a beautiful thought to end on.
Yeah.
So to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to dive into replica creation with passion, purpose, and a deep appreciation for the human spirit that fuels this incredible technology.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with replica technology.
This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us.